That show needed more microwaves.
Supremacy! Dominion! Overwhelming victory! That is all that can be said of the performance of the year. And once again, despite your aggressive, unsubstantiated, baseless, and frankly immoral standpoints towards my ability in the kitchen, I stand here with the briefcase of victory. And you can't take it away. You can meme it all day. You could do what you want to do. But I sit here with the case of victory in my hands.
Although, we weren't exactly up against the most difficult competition.
I don't give a shit what you guys try and say.
This one echoed.
It wasn't a case of I scraped by in a victory. More than double the points. Nearly perfect scores. So, get fucked, all of you. Because you just overwhelmingly have nothing. You have nothing. You have nothing that can stop this.
What was the description? Dry cement, Thrall's shoe.
My brownies were dry, and I found out why afterwards. The chef came over and he's like, I knew they were going to be dry. You did everything perfect, because we did have a professional chef watching each side. And he goes, in your vain attempt to get rid of the taste of chocolate in triple chocolate brownies, you added just too much cinnamon, which dried them out. And I was like, that's fair. That's fair. I did everything I could to make them chocolate brownies not taste like chocolate, because I just didn't want mega chocolate brownies. But in that respect, I added a lot of cinnamon, which, if you've ever done a cinnamon challenge, you will know it will dry you out to the ends of the earth. And it did dry out the brownies too much. But they also didn't taste chocolatey, so I'm alright with that. I'm alright with that. But they're self-admitted, they were really dry. Well, that's what it was. That's what it was. But there it is. Even though MSI gave us one and took it away, I now have one of my own. A 4070 Ti Super with all the World of Warcraft trimmings to go with it for the big victory. What a day. What an absolutely awesome day. It was super fun and chaos unimagined. Chaos unimagined. No, I'm keeping this. This is mine. This is going to go in my home PC. This is my championship belt and I'm having it. I'm keeping it. I'm not giving it away. I'm having it. No, no, no. I'm sick of every time I get a nice treat or something that you guys are like, well, just give it away to us then. No, you know what? My PC has a 2070 in it. My home personal computer. It's now going to have a 4070 Ti Super in it. That's what's going to have. I'm going to have this. This is mine. I earned it. It's mine. It's mine, mine, mine. Mine, mine, mine. All mine. Mm-hmm. Oh, you know, I will have a room to play in. At some point, I will have a PC that I can have at home. Okay. And then I will have a nice graphics card in it. Okay. So there you go. I am very happy we both refused to know what the prize was, because it was only like after rehearsals. We were like, is there even a prize for this? It's like a competition, but is there a prize? They went, there is a prize. Do you want to know what it is? And I was like, no, it's all right. It'll probably be something goofy. When they brought this out, I legitimately asked afterwards, I was like, so did I really win the GPU, or is it like a prop that you're using? Because they're doing another cooking show today. And they're like, no, that's legitimately yours. They then took it away from me to get it out of shot, right? Sammy took it away somewhere. And as we were getting ready to leave the studio, I was like, wait, where's the GPU? I'd like forgot about it. So I went looking for it. All of production had put it in the back and we're all looking at it and like stroking the box and shit like that. I was like, these guys are going to yoink my GPU. I was like, give me the GPU. That's mine. That's totally mine. They were all like looking at it and they were all like messing with the box. I'm like, get off it. That's fucking mine, man. I came in and took it away. Like, I'm going home with this. I stuck it in the car. I stuck it in the car. I even took it up to my hotel room in case someone yoinked it out of my car. I was like, this is mine now. Like, you're not having it. You're not taking it away. What a day. What a day. Hey, can we, if you tune into a stream or whatever, massive shout outs to Dan. That phone call to Dan must have been one of the weirdest phone calls he's ever had, as I randomly called him and was like, I need you to get to Swindon now. Like, right fucking now. And he's like, what? I was like, I'm here with Twitch and Amazon and Blizzard. All three of them were there. And we do not have a competitor for me. Like, we don't have a competitor. Like, I think it's Usno. I was supposed to... Who was I supposed to be? I was supposed to be originally against Stripping, which I was really looking forward to, because I'd spoke to Dodger, and I was like, oh, maybe we can get dinner or something if you're coming up. I was supposed to be against Stripping, and Stripping couldn't make it, because Stripping had a subathon that was going very well, and it was like, my subathon's not going to be over by the time this thing happens, so he couldn't make it. And then it was Usno, and he was a GTA RP player, I believe, and did some stuff with Warcraft, and Usno apparently just called in sick, got really ill, and called and said, I'm really sorry, I just can't, I'm not going to be able to make it. I'm, like, really, really ill. But the story of it is really funny, right? My day actually went kind of well, because we weren't supposed to be originally, as I told you guys, filming till, like, 9:30. So the original plan was I would be here and stream till, like, midday, and then I would drive down. It was a 3.5-hour drive. Call it 4 for, like, stopping halfway, having a piss, doing all that kind of shit at some gas station or whatever. So it's like a 4-hour drive, right? Because it was just next to Bristol where we were. And so I was going to, like, leave here at 12, get a hire car, and drive down, be there for, like, 4 p.m.-ish, something like that, and then be, and then get on with things. And then it got moved back a little bit to, like, 7. And then they were like, we have a lot to prepare for this, because now we've got this big giant set. Because it was supposed to be in London. Like, originally it was going to be a 9 p.m. shoot in London, which is a doddle for me, because I could get on the train or whatever and be there in a couple of hours. But it then got changed to a different studio that was now not somewhere that was easily accessible by trains. It would take me like 5.5 hours by public transport to get there. So they changed to a car, blah, blah, blah. And then I got the day run sheet, and it started at like 12:30, which meant 4 hours. I needed to set off really early. So that's what happened. So I had to like rehire the car. I had to call them. I was like, look, I was supposed to be getting this car at 12. I need to get this like first thing in the morning now and be there early. I was a little stressed that I was going to be a bit late. We let them know it wasn't going to be a big deal. But either way, when I got to the hire place, the car was there. And they were like, yeah, it's going to be about another 30 minutes because we're going to give it like a vacuum and stuff inside. I was like, don't worry about it. It's fine. I just need to go. So they were like, are you sure? Like, it's not a problem. And I was like, yeah, it's fine. I'll just get in the car. It was perfectly clean. I was like, I'll just get in the car and go. And they're like, oh, okay. So I got off. I got off like half an hour early. There was no traffic through Birmingham because everybody was dead due to obviously it being infected with plague and zombieism. So thankfully I got straight through Birmingham and arrived about an hour before I needed to be doing anything. I got there for like, I don't know, like 12, 15, something like that. So I got there and I thought, cool, what I'll do is I'll drop into the studio, say hi, make sure everybody knows I'm there, and then I'll go to the hotel and get changed, because I drove down obviously in like shorts and t-shirt, because why would you wear your production clothes to drive a car? That's really stupid for 4 hours. So I did that. I walk in, it was awesome, met all like my handlers, met up with Twitch, met up with all the director, the producer, spoke to, you know, got a good feel for the place, got to tour the set, did all the hellos. And I was like, cool, right, so the schedule's changed a bit. I'm not needed now till 2:30. We've got a 2:30 talent call. What are handlers? Handlers are the people who are shadowing you for the day should you need anything, so you're not, like, going to bother, like, the director or a producer or somebody who is clearly busy doing other things. So the handlers will be somebody who's like, hi. So I had OT. OT was an absolute god. And OT was, like, behind the scenes with me all the time. He's the one who's in communication with production to make sure I hit my marks and things like that. So handlers are very, very important people. OT was also the one who, like, sorted stuff out for me backstage while we were cooking. He, like, apparently, I'll get to this, but apparently you guys could totally hear me when I was off the set doing things, because they had no sinks, right? So what they had for me to, like, wash my hands if I got, like, wasabi and shit on me is OT was behind the scenes, and they got me like a big bucket that just had water in it, and so I had like I could wash my hands in that, and then OT was like sorting out stuff for me there. OT, I'll come back to this, but OT was also like so happy with my food. Get fucked. OT was like nibbling my food behind the scenes because they kept all my plates behind. OT was like I came round and OT had like was having some chicken. He's like, I'm eating the chicken. So apparently you could hear my conversations that I was having with OT in the background. More annoyingly, also Makes could hear it. I didn't know my feed was going directly to Makes. So was Dan's. And she said, yeah, I'm like sat talking. I'm talking to Dan about whatever he's doing. And in my back of ear, I can hear you and OT having a chit chat behind because I'm like, hey, what's going on? And he's like, yeah, I'm having some chicken. Do you need anything? I'm like, no. It's like, where am I going to do this and this? And he's like, oh, I need this. And he's like, cool. I'm just having this little conversation around the back. Because obviously I went around the back whenever Makes wasn't near me on the shot. Can we get the VOD up so I can give some context for anyone who didn't see last night? That's probably a smart thing to do. Let's try that. A little bit of side footage for storytelling. Yeah, handlers are super amazing. You want, if you're doing a big production, because the production crew was massive. There must have been 20 plus production members there. Ads are playing. We'll come back to it. Anyway, so I got there. Everything's cool. And then I was like, all right, well, if you don't need me for like an hour, because it was maybe 1:30 by this point, I was like, I'm just going to nip to the hotel, check in, put all my shit in my room, you know, freshen up and put on my, my clothes and then come back. And he's like, yeah, Makes isn't here yet. Well, that sounds like a good plan. So Sammy was like, all right, I'll come with you because I need to put my car there. I'll come with you and I'll show you where the hotel is. You can just follow me along. So I did, right? So I jump in the car and drive in. I jump in the car, follow Sammy, and then walk to get out of the car. I get my like little suitcase thing, and I'm walking to the building. And this is when Sammy says, "So we have got a minor problem." I'm like, "We have a minor problem? What's the minor problem?" He's like, "So you don't have a competitor?" Well, I'm like, "What?" I was like, "Yeah, so the dude's rang in sick, so we don't actually have anybody to cook against." I'm like, "Wait, so what are we going to do?" And he's like, I was like, "Have you called somebody?" He's like, "Can you think of anybody who could come?" And I'm like, we're like doing rehearsals in apparently an hour for this. Can I get someone here in an hour? So I'm like thinking, and I'm like, well, I can't call Jordan. She's in Germany. She would have been pretty close. Can't call Alex. Alex is also in Germany. And I was like, Dan's down here somewhere. So that's why I called Dan. I was like, Dan? And he's, but Sammy, and he's like, tried to look after me. Was like, we'll check you in first, we'll sort it out. And I was like, no, we need to get this done as soon as humanly possible so the wheels can start turning. Let's go. So I was like, I called Dan. He didn't answer. So I texted him. I'm like, dude, are you there? He's like, yeah, why are you calling me? I'm streaming. I'm like, oh, you're streaming right now. I said, you need to call me, but off stream. While this is happening, Sammy's on the phone to production. Like, we're in a car park, right? He's on the phone to production, who's saying he might be able to get Mr. GM. All of production then tune into Mr. GM's stream. They tune into Dan's stream. And they, like, literally in real time watch him walk off to get the phone call. And I got down on the phone. I was like, Dan, how quickly can you get to Swindon? And he's like, I don't know where Swindon is. And I was like, oh, God, maybe he lives, like, really far away, like on the other side of London or something. So he Googles it. He goes, right, it's an hour away. I'm like, okay, all right, let's forego the fact you don't know where this place is that's an hour away from you that is not exactly small, but sure. But sure. And so he comes back and he goes, what are we doing? I'm like, look, I'm at a Blizzard thing. I need somebody to come up here and work with me on this. Let's get it going. It's with Amazon and it's with Twitch and it's with Blizzard. And then he's like, I think I could do that. So I was like, look, I'm with Twitch now. Let me just put you on the phone and they'll fill you in and you can sort out like payment and whatever. So I give the phone to Sammy and like Sammy has to very quickly in about 5 minutes explain to Dan what's happening. And Dan goes, all right, I'll be there. Dan is in the car 10 minutes later, ready to go. Alliance shirt, everything, throws it on, comes back to his stream and says, I've got to go. And is in the building with me within 2 hours. Absolute frigging legend. Absolute frigging legend. Dan just, like, I'm there and I'm on it. I'm like, that's what you need. That's what you need. Had no idea, had no clue what was going on. Just rocks up to the building and is like, what are we doing? And I'm like, we're doing a cooking thing. We're doing a cooking thing. He's like, okay. Dan did not mention at this point that Dan doesn't know how to cook, which I didn't know either. But of course, as you watched, it did become readily apparent and was pure bants. I've got. We'll get there, right? So then Makes shows up. It turns out I was really embarrassed. Actually, it turns out me and Makes have met before. Apparently, I do remember it now. And she's like, we have met before. And I'm like, we have? And she's like, yeah. I was on the German casting team in Krefeld like 7 years ago. During one of the Race to World First. And I do remember that Method, Aversion actually, one of the WoW raid guilds, decided to bring their own German-only casting team. And they had like a room off to the side where they had all the German casters. And she was in there. And she was like, we totally met in the past. I'm like, shit, I'm sorry, I don't remember at all. But she is phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. So professional. So dry and funny as well. Like, really funny. It's almost like a British humor. She was incredible and so professional. Love working with her. She's great. Absolutely great. Yeah, it worked really well. This is where I came to snipe onto what Dan had in his bag. Yeah, it was really good. Yeah, it was fantastic. So it was great working with her. And we had a drink in the evening with the rest of the crew and stuff. Yeah, she was great. She bossed it. Yeah. She was super good. So we got Dan in the building, and then we started the rehearsals. It was kind of funny. Like, I heard from a couple of production, they were a little worried because it was going to be 2.5 hours long. Would us have things to say? I'm like, bro, we got this. We got this. I'm like, you do not need to worry about that. Me and Dan have got this. Yeah, like, I was like, that's kind of why you've invited us down here, surely. That's our job. That's what you're paying for, is to make that happen, right? That is the situation. Now, I am going to point out, I was in the back with some of the reps from Blizzard, and we had the cookbooks there. They had loads of cookbooks. And so I'm going through the cookbook, and I'm doing like some little notes, because they did say we could be creative with our meals and stuff like that. And I gave it to Dan. I was like, here's the cookbook, Dan. This was like 2 hours before we were actually going on set. I gave the cookbook to Dan. I was like, you can go through the recipes and figure out what you need to do and check what's going on. Dan looks at it for about 5 seconds and goes, it's all right. Just puts it down. I'm like, okay. I took from that interaction that Dan's a seasoned cook, and it's like we're making eggs and ham and chicken satay, like, whatever, right? That's what I took from that interaction. He picked up the cookbook, he, like, flicks to, like, the eggs and ham, and he's like, it's whatever. And just puts it down. I'm like, oh, okay, so Dan totally knows what he's doing. All right, this is going to be fun. This is going to be a pretty fun interaction here. This is going to be a good competition. Did not turn out to be the case, after all. But then we just had some, like, we had, like, hair and makeup and shit like that. Yeah. Going through all that. And then, I'm not going to say who, but somebody from Blizzard found that they had not an iron, but a steamer. Like a little, it looks like a vacuum cleaner, but it's a steamer. You guys know what I'm talking about. They have like a little steamer for doing the clothes and stuff, right? And was so enamored by this clothes steamer that they desperately want one, and started steaming everything in the room. Because they had, like, Warcraft shirts for us if we wanted to wear them. It's one of them's nipped. Oh, there it is. Yeah, they had, like, Warcraft shirts for us to wear and stuff like that. If you wanted to, I was like, I'm alright. I brought my own stuff. And started steaming everything. To the point where there was, like, 4 of us in the room. And she's looking at me and she's going, I need to steam your shirt. I'm like, what? I was like, I need to steam your shirt. I'm like, you're not steaming my shirt. She's like, I need to steam your shirt. I have to steam your shirt. And it's like, you've got creases in your shirt. So I ended up shirtless. with Dan, this person from Blizzard, while she's steaming my shirt. I just stood there. It kept going for ages. It kept going. She's like, you've got creases. I need to steam your shirt. I'm like, I've ironed it. She's like, you've not done a good job. It needs to be steamed. And then she went around steaming all these shirts. Like, just hanging up. Nobody was wearing it. It was just steaming everything. Getting ready to go out. Yeah. So it was, of course, you slept towards the palm. You're going off the pip. You guys are such shit cooks. It's unbelievable. It's unfucking believable. There's a hard pit in the side of an avocado. Peasants. So anyway, we came out. Yeah, you're terrible. There's so much shit you don't know. And so we came out. We got started. Now, I will put a defense here for both me and Dan. We could not do the way the recipes are written in the book. And if any of you has the Warcraft book, you can check this. You can check this. We had, there's Sammy. There's Legend Sammy, the taster. Yeah, it makes us a lot of food allergies. So Sammy was drafted as our taster last minute to get things done, right? You're alive? Of course you're alive. You didn't eat Dan's chicken. Which turned out to be real. The chef genuinely was like, watched Dan cooking and went, no one's allowed to eat that chicken. Like, that wasn't a meme. That was genuine. There was like a health warning. Do not eat that chicken. How long did it take Dan to get started? He's not even cut anything. So this went awry with the eggs, because the way we had to do the eggs in the time limit we had is not how you were supposed to do the eggs, like, from the recipe at all. So, and keeping track of time while doing this, ain't no way. Ain't no way. There was no way. There was no way of the time on the first one went very quickly. He didn't understand pit and peel. Oh, I see. I didn't know what was going on over there. I could kind of hear it because they were like talking to each other on the other side of the room, but I knew something was going wrong. I knew something was going wrong over on Dan's side. I didn't know what it was. And I'm like, all right. Something's happening over there. But I was just getting on with what I needed to do. I had the idea to do the little Gould. I wanted more time because I wanted to like draw Gul'dan's face, because I thought, oh, eggs kind of look like, you know, we can make them look like tusks. They're white. We can chop them and they'll look a bit like tusks and stuff like that. So I was like, okay, we could totally make some sort of like orcish face here. They're fell eggs and ham. That kind of works, right? They're fell eggs and ham. We could do a Gul'dan thing with that. That sounds pretty good. I could use the bacon as ears. So they got these orky bacon rasher ears. Like all that. I thought that was pretty fun because they were like, you could be creative with it. The only thing I didn't have, which we couldn't get in time, was like strawberries and stuff. Because what I wanted to do on the chicken skewers, but we kind of ran out of time there anyway. I wanted to do a DPS meter because chicken skewers are crit food for DPS. So I wanted to do a little DPS meter. Along the bottom. So I wanted to like do like strawberry for Death Knight, maybe some blueberries for Warlocks, you know, like do a little DPS chart so they would be like chicken skewers of DPS. You don't like fell eggs and ham? Preach I am. No, you're not supposed to mix it together, Ziggs. It was just going to be the chicken skewers on one side and then at the bottom of the plate just a little design. That's all. It wasn't to like mix in with it. It was just to add a bit of something to what's going on, right? You know what I mean? That's all. That's all. Just a little bit like that. I'm all right with that. That was cool. So that was the plan. That didn't work at all. It didn't work, and I felt really bad when I was trying to do the rice, and there was no way of getting the rice. Everything on the plate is part of the dish and should be edible. Strawberries are edible. Yeah. Strawberries are edible. You can eat strawberries and blueberries. That's totally fine. It's all okay. It's not a problem. It's all okay. You can eat those things. I should feel bad for what? For what? Inept rice cooking? Dude! What are you talking about? I didn't even know how much water was in the pan. We had like, what? Just throw it in at the end? Are you guys actual clowns? It's just like a pan of water that had been left boiling for like 15 minutes. Like, it was, I just threw in the tankard. I was like, I have no idea how much water's in here. I'm just going to salt it and throw the rice in and see what comes out. Like, you know what I mean? My bacon was on point. Yeah. Why strawberries not tomato? It wouldn't have, like, come up right, I don't think, because I needed more pans. I only had 2 grills, right? It wasn't a proper kitchen. I hope you all understand this was not a proper kitchen by any means. We didn't even have spoons, all right? Someone had to run and get us spoons midway through the show. Hey, Dad's in there. We didn't even have spoons. And so the funny thing was, in between each dish, God bless the production hands, as we went into the close shot so you could see the judging, production ran in, took all our dirty stuff, and had like a minute and a half to clean it and bring it back. That's what was happening off camera, is the second we closed in, they would run up, get everything off, run somewhere, clean it, and then have it back and dry, ready for the next meal within like 2 minutes. And each time, less stuff came back. So, like, the stuff I had at the start did not come back always. Like, less and less stuff kept coming back. By the 3rd dish, I had no measuring stuff left. I had no spoons. It was a real case of, like, figuring out what can I use to make something happen here. To figure it out. Yeah. Well, we were looking for stuff everywhere by the second one. Like, absolutely looking everywhere. I was like, I haven't got a plate. Like, I used this, like, fucking cutting board thing to present the chicken skewers. I had no plate. I literally had no plate. I had nothing. It was full shambles, but fun as hell. It added so much to the show, like, mixing it up where it was to go, and added so much fun to the situation. It worked out well. I was trying to keep my area clean as well. That's why I kept going back to, like, wash my hands and do stuff. It was pretty good. It's so good. That slate was the plate. No, because Dan had something else. Dan had what looked like a paint lid. And the one that the chef had created was on something else entirely. This thing was genuinely dangerous. Makes was genuinely concerned at this point that we were going to scrape our skin off. I had to just man mode it and rip it off. Because I'm pretty sure all the utensils had just been bought from a supermarket, which is fine. They were all fresh. But we were definitely concerned as to how to get this plastic cover off, because it was very, very tightly on there to make it happen. That was it was a mystery. Yeah, you just had to rip it off. And as soon as I saw Dan pick it up, I knew he was going to have the same problem, because it was super on there. Well, yeah, not like I wanted to do it on this little cutting board, but whatever. You're in a rush as well. But I think we had, I don't know, 20 minutes for this first one. Something like that. But I had a full idea of what I wanted to do here. The eggs were a real... I wanted more water, but the only water we had, because we didn't have a tap, was bottled water underneath. Because I wanted to raise the water level up. So one issue I did run into that you may have seen is we had, like, I couldn't use something else to lower the eggs into the water, and the water wasn't particularly shallow. So I was gently, like, trying to place them in there, but they definitely hit the bottom, and some of them cracked, which was annoying. It was annoying. It was annoying because I was like, I could hear them going clink, clink. At least, you know, you had bottled water. I assumed it was water for me, but I was like, I need water to, because I didn't know we had ice either. Like, obviously, if you watched, Makes came out and was like, we put ice backstage for you. I was like, well, I didn't, no one told me that we had ice. So I just kept using the bottled water to try and, no, we had no spoons. I got spoons in the last couple of minutes of the second dish. Someone ran and got us spoons. Because that's why we're using measuring. Dan said the same thing. Dan came to the same conclusion as me. Dan got the measuring things to scoop out the avocado, because there was no, like, actual spoon to do it with. Dan was waiting for his eggs to cool down in room temperature. Oh, I did hear that Dan just was waiting for the water to cool down. Yeah. I did hear that Dan was just turned the heat off, I think, and just waited for them to cool down. Yeah, it was going for a plan, dude. There was a plan underway here. There was a plan. I don't know what happened with his bacon. I tasted it for a long time, for like 15 minutes. I was pretty happy with my fell eggs and ham, although I don't think they're nice. Like, the chef's... I don't like the chef's one either. It's not a dish that I particularly enjoy either way. I'm not a big avocado fan, to be honest. I'm not a huge avocado fan, but they're okay. They're alright. Want me to move on by your Neocron? Alright. Well, you're playing some sort of cheap hybrid build, I bet. I just don't think it's a super nice dish. At all. It doesn't sound like a good mix. It's okay. But, like, I mean, it wasn't, like, awful. Mine was alright. The chef's one was better than mine, obviously. Dan's all he tasted was burnt. Why is it he stood still for so long? Dan just looks so confused. That was disgusting. Blah, 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 blah. I so wanted to pop it. I so wanted to pop it and make it happen. Where did this take place? This was in a studio called Sandstorm in Swindon. Super great place. The staff there were really, really nice. They did everything for us. Yeah, the little. That's because the egg had like cracked a little bit putting it into the pan. Dan had the same issue. The water was a little shallow, but we had no taps. So the idea is they had safety professionals there because obviously they can't check. There's going to be more people cooking today. They can't check your like cooking ability. So they were like, don't mess with anything with the fire. You're fine to turn it off, but we will relight it for you if you need it. Don't do anything to hurt yourselves. And they had like health people there should we cut ourselves or anything like that to keep us safe. Because they have no idea if anybody can ever cook at all, which is part of the fun, right? Because no one really cares. Apparently, the feedback we got, and I'll talk about that in a bit, actually, from doing this. I said use it as a test run as well for others. Yeah, I'll come to the conclusion after of what was going on. But it was really fun. Like, I'm not... the things that weren't, like, as I would have had them actually added a lot more to it, because it gave you more... yeah. I loved this, that made the little mohawk. It added a lot more pressure and stress to it, rather than just being like in a kitchen cooking. It added a lot more flavor and variety and spice to the event of like, I haven't got a spoon, I haven't got a plate, where can I get this, where can I get that, all that. It added a lot more fun and energy to it, like running around and checking, because I never looked at the screen of how much time we had left at all. I just tried to get on with it and get what I needed to get done. Actually, massive shout outs to Makes, who was keeping an eye on the time and coming and telling us things like, just let you know, your brownies need to go in now, or they're just not going to be ready. Right? When it Makes didn't tell me. Oh, he's only just found the cheese grater. Uh-oh. Yeah, dangerous. This is genuinely dangerous, this grater. That thing is on there tight. That is like condom tight. That thing is crazy. Yeah, I was telling Dad, that thing is bad. Right, see how from behind the desk, looking fit and trim. Thanks! Still got a little ways to go, but pretty close to where I want to be. Oh, you got there. He got there. He's all good. Yeah, he's doing pretty good. I got what I need, though. I only needed 2 properly done eggs. The rest of them were for teeth. So we got that, which is pretty good. Weren't quite ready. Again, the way you were supposed to, if you read the way they wanted them boiled for this dish, was different than how I do them at home. I make boiled eggs a lot for Emma. Emma loves boiled eggs and soldiers. She absolutely adores it. Is they wanted you to put it in cold water and then heat it up for a certain amount of time and then take it away and do something else with it. Like there was if you check the cookbook, it's in there. They wanted them done in a different way for this dish that I wasn't used to. I think it's what caught Dan out as well, because it's like we've already got like the pre-boiled water, but is that going to affect the outcome? And we're on a time limit, so they've got to come out and they've got to be prepared. I think it was pretty close. It was pretty close. I think we had half an hour to do this, and I think the cookbook says it also takes half an hour with full preparation in a familiar kitchen. So the fact that either of us got anything on a plate is pretty cool. It's pretty good. Who's the host? This is Makes. You regularly see her casting the MDI or on Team Liquid's Race to World First. Super awesome. She's German, so she did the English version today, and they're doing the German version tonight. She's excellent. Yeah, she's truly, truly excellent. I had a great time with her. Was happy to meet her. All right. When did Dan cook the bacon? Because what happened here? Did he just ignore it or what? God, somebody ran and got me some kitchen towel so I could wipe my hands. Thank God. Max heat? I don't think we changed the heat. I think production set the heat levels. Unless Dan changed it manually. They set the burner temperature. Because all we had was like these little gas valves. No measurements on them or anything like that as to what the heat actually was. So I don't think he would have changed the heat or made it. He kept turning it off. Oh, maybe. Yeah, I obviously I couldn't see from where I was as to what was happening. So it's close. Has he even put it in yet? He seems very relaxed with 5 minutes remaining. I don't know how his stuff came out yellow with avocado and wasabi in it. How did that happen? I'm not sure how it came out yellow. The egg yolks? Did he not put enough... did he not use the whole avocado or something? Huh. Yeah, what does he... Hang on, I need to know what he says here. I have to know. What did he actually say as he was doing this?
Oh dear.
Can you not fold it? Try to put it flat.
No, we've like turned into like a...
Nah.
Yeah. Cooking.
Put it flat, please.
Yeah. Sorry.
You don't have that much time left.
Yeah, I know, yeah, it's fine. Oh, the timer's gone!
I like that you looked at it and went,
Well, I've been
"No,
looking
it's
at it
fine."
constantly.
I don't.
He's
get
just throwing the
feeling that he
bacon in.
did, Really.
He's just folding it into a ball and throwing it in.
Now. This is like the last boss. Cut it with the knife. $50. Happy Thanksgiving.
He's still not putting it in. It's cooking.
What happens then?
Then.
Oh, you cooked it at the
I'm
same
afraid
time
you're
as
out of
me.
luck. What makes you say that? I see a
I
little
feel
bit
like you're
of.
stifling my creative portion.
I'm glad you're using protection on your hands. Please don't burn
can't say
yourself.
that.
Please don't.
I will point out production came and told me to do that because they had tested the handle and it was very hot, and production ran over out of shot and said you have to use the cooking mitt to touch the handle. It is extremely hot. And I was like, okay. They were like, they came out to check it and they were like, yeah, it's been on there for a while. That thing is scalding hot. Please don't burn yourself. I'm like, yeah, no problem. I was going to do it anyway, but like the production actually ran over to me and like, please, for the love of God, don't touch that handle. I'm like, all right. No problem. That's fine. Yeah, it seems like the bit you want to grab. Like, I know most of my pans, even cast iron, have some protection around the handle. But still, it's fine. It's fine, I suppose. Look how lovely and green it is. Fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. Not smooth enough, though. I couldn't find anything to hand that was good enough to, like, smooth this out. I would have liked something else. Where's Dan with this bacon? Where is he? Go back to Dan. I need to see Dan in the bacon. It's important to me to see Dan in the bacon. Yeah, I turned off the heat. Yeah, turning it off is fine. They were like, you can turn it off, just don't relight it yourself. That's what they said to me. Like, you can turn it off as many times as you want, just don't relight it, that's all. Which was fine. So I was choosing my least yolky eggs to go on here. It's not like I could do anything about it at this point. We're not reboiling the eggs. Oh, Dan just left it on.
Look, guys.
Oh, okay.
It's coming over to you too, Preach.
Is it still in there?
What's that?
This is how it's supposed to look.
Who told you that?
Our chef.
Oh, he's a liar.
He really isn't.
He is. You can't just go buying it from a supermarket and saying that's how it's supposed to be.
What kind of supermarket?
Gimpy, thank you so much for the 10 gifted subs. Thank you, Gimpy.
The Azeroth one.
Dan's is bright yellow. Bright
Are
yellow.
you checking your pan, Dan?
That's fine.
1 minute, 15 seconds.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Oh, this is...
Oh, that is dark.
Yes. Great.
That's some
It's
dark.
fine,
That's
but
some
it's
dark.
burned.
That
I'm not
poor.
taking the pan home anymore. It's all burnt in.
Oh dear. Oh
We're going to
dear.
steal the pan?
No, I wasn't going to steal it.
Guys think
Borrow
you're
it?
going to make
Yeah.
something edible here. I'm so worried
I've
for
eaten
Sammy.
it. It's very nice.
You've actually tried it.
Yep. It might not be pretty. I agree. But it is very...
Honestly, it's coming closer than I thought you'd get.
Oh, it's not even close to finished yet.
Okay.
Trust in the dream.
We're on the home stretch.
Hey, my
guys.
pancetta was really nice.
It's like 30 seconds.
30 seconds?
Yes.
Oh, God.
I'm just saying. Dan? Less than 30 seconds.
No.
yeah,
no,
there
that's
is a
not
lot
true.
of smoke.
Yeah,
Oh
it
my!
is.
It's still cooking the
Would you mind taking the
bacon.
burning ham out of the pan.
It's still cooking it.
Oh, yeah, it's done. Thanks. Thanks for the reminder.
Hey, Dan's got a
You
different
can
pan
even
to me.
see how. Please don't breathe that in.
Can we get
We
a zoom
have
on the
8
very
seconds
well
to go,
cooked
guys.
ham?
I'm gonna need you to take your hands off.
It was jammed in my teeth. It was so dark.
Hands off.
Yeah, let me just.
Hands off.
It's really hot.
Hands off.
Okay, yes, sir.
Okay, well, because both of them are not really ready, as you can see right now, we're going to give you another chance to add a few more seconds to this. Chat, it's your job. You can help both of these guys, and trust me, they do need it. If you spam the respective Horde and Alliance emotes, we're going to be trying to get extra time.
That is something else that's coming out of there.
It's so burnt.
I think at this point, I want to say, you guys, I'm so proud of you, because I honestly expected, given your reputation and the fact that apparently you had, since the announcement, had been in contact with Makes about my cooking, is that due to Dan's burning of the bacon, his heresy against the pork, you were united under one banner. And I could see the chat here. If I show it, I could see there was a tablet here where I could see my chat. And you didn't all vote against me. And I'm so proud of you guys. I'm so proud of you. As I was watching it flood in, there was as much Horde as there was Alliance. And I just consider you guys to be just wonderful human beings for doing that. It was so good. It was so good. Thank you.
We can
well
get
done.
that on there as seconds to prepare your dish.
So rude.
The system works really well as well. Just picking up the emotes. It went across 3 channels. They were doing it live from Warcraft channel, Dance channel, and my channel.
Preach.
So
It's
many
getting
lines,
quite close here.
You see that? She kept saying preach, preach, preach. I thought I'd run out of time.
Both of you.
Don't just shout my name.
You do need to tell them stop then. And both of them.
Here he is.
Oh, poor Sammy. Here he is.
How are you doing, Sammy?
Oh, drama time's coming up. Oh, I'm going to finish the story really quick before drama.
Yeah.
There's our man, Sammy.
So just as a reminder, once more, we have how it's supposed to look up in front.
Oh, what's the angle? Oh, God, yours looks amazing.
Can you hear production laughing at dance?
Tried to perfection. It's
I
really.
need like a moment.
I thought that was
Pluto's dark.
I thought that was a smoke machine.
You cooking in the shade?
Okay, Dan, can you just turn off that pan real quick?
Oh yeah,
The
it's.
heater, please.
It's still cooking?
Thank you.
Hey.
Thank you. So let's start with you, Preach.
Sure.
Looking at this dish, tell me.
I don't
the
think production
creative
should have been
aspect of it.
quiet. It added stuff to it.
Yes.
Bell, eggs, and ham.
M.
Gul'dan edition.
Oh,
As you
okay.
can see, Gul'dan's chin, his teeth, his bacon rasher ears, and his furrowed brow, because of course he was corrupted by the Fell. And these, of course, are his sinister little eyes.
Okay, it's
So
a
it's Fell, eggs,
face.
and ham, Gul'dan edition. You can't see
Honestly,
it because it's
that's-
at an angle. Hold on.
No, I turned my head.
Yeah.
No, I actually can see it.
Do you feel like the dark portal opening?
Not quite, but I like that you put some thought.
Oh, it's
into
done
this
here. It's done.
presentation.
It's still cooking now.
It's crazy, isn't it? Okay. And ingredients-wise, we stayed true to the recipe.
Oh,
All I
we
was
did it. We
double
nailed
up
it,
to make
Dan.
extra Fell, so I could
So you could
decorate.
present it that
Yeah,
way.
exactly. And the
really
eggs
like that.
to turn them into fangs.
Okay. So as for presentation, I would say.
Dan, that bacon, that poor bacon, Dan.
Oh no, I forgot part.
Oh, what did he say?
In there, Sammy.
What's he forgotten? I forgot.
It's supposed to be.
Sammy, the fear in your eyes lifting that egg is one of sheer terror. They're not very good though, are they, Sammy? Okay. I tried the chef one as well, and they're all right. Even when done properly. Yeah, yeah, exactly.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's great.
May I?
Are you actually having the other one?
Yeah.
I don't think they're particularly nice anyway.
So, you know what? I'd give that a 3.
A 3.
A solid 3.
What would you give yourself?
Out of?
5.
Oh, 4.
4. So pretty close. Okay.
Could
Are
be
you
spicier. Could be spicier.
Are you feeling?
Yeah,
that
they weren't great.
You know, I'm feeling okay.
Yeah. You can see them on the screen.
Dan's Fell appears to be yellow.
Yeah, we'll get into that.
Concerning.
A lot on that plate is concerning. Dan, hey. Looking at this plate, tell me, what was your approach?
What did Dan forget?
Confusion, mostly.
Yes,
Hey,
that's what I was
Dan!
getting to, so I'm glad we're aligned.
I asked before we started, right, Dan? I asked. I'm not going to say who I asked, but I asked if one of us, because obviously I thought one of us is definitely going to screw something up here, right? 100%. I was like, if one of us screws up, can I name the dish Shadowlands? And they're like, no. I thought I was going to call it like Fell Eggs and Ham Shadowlands edition or something like that. They won't be happy with that, dude. Just let it die. Let it go.
Really
Let
know
it
what I was
go.
doing, confused and
Let it go. I was kind of looking. Oh, we've got drama
he's a
time.
strong boy.
What are we doing, mate?
Just opening the can. I seem to have a.
Why couldn't you open the can?
Oh, do you want me to use
Oh,
mine?
his can opener
you
was
can do-
broken.
You know what? Yeah, you just open this real quick.
You
want
have
me to
it
open your
halfway
can for
open.
you?
Do not turn this can upside down. It's half opened.
There we go.
This is mine now.
Oh. Thanks,
I
Dad.
like how you kind of just accepted it.
Yeah.
You went, oh.
We're all about teamwork.
Yeah.
Azeroth style.
Okay, because we got drama time, I'll kind of rush to the end here. But like the feedback we got is that all the people involved in this were extremely happy. It was one of the first events they've done where viewership just went up continuously. And they were like over the moon that it like started and it just went up and up and up. And it's like more people found out about it. Obviously people were messaging each other and it just went up and up and up and up and up. And they were like really, really happy with it. The concept worked. I think people were probably a bit skeptical at first, like a silly cooking game, a cooking show, whatever. But that's what happened on the business side of things. Everything just went up and up and up and they were really happy with it. One thing that was really fun is apparently some of the American audience thought we all really hated each other. Until like moments like this where we were like helping each other, and then apparently the great moment when we all went to try and make glaze for Dan, like all of us were over there, because I swear to God there is no reason Dan's glaze shouldn't have worked. We even made it again and it just didn't work. I made it and it was fine, and we came and all helped Dan make glaze doing the exact recipe and it just didn't work again. I made it the exact same way I'd made mine, and mine came out perfectly. And that was with Makes helping as well. It was odd. Like, when the chef came over, he was like, I think it was too hot. And I was like, I didn't even hold it over the pan. Like, I don't even know what to tell you. Like, I had a little bit of heat on it. The pan wasn't too hot. He's like, that was the chef's guess. He's like, I think that's what's happened. But, like, the same thing happened with your ham. I mean, I think we found evidence of the ham situation, Dan, if I'm being honest. But yeah, I don't know what was going on. I don't know whether you had something slightly different to me, but I don't think you did. I have no idea what the hell happened there. Because that's why we came over. It's like, because mine was baking. There was nothing else I could do. So it's like, let's go and sort it out. But yeah, once people saw that, then apparently people understood. It was like, no, they don't hate each other. Like all three of us, I think initially the Americans were like, okay, Mike hates Makes and Dan. Dan hates Makes and Mike. And Makes hates Mike and Dan. They all just hate each other in all ways. It was great sadness. Alliance post leads to confuse people. Yeah, it's just like Brit slash and Makes has like an almost English humor, so it works really well.
For what?
Oh, the brownie speed run.
Take your brownie out.
He's still melting butter. So, Dan, let me tell you.
Yeah, these would have been really nice if I didn't add that
After
cinnamon.
you, and his brownies are done.
Oh, are they?
There's 2 minutes on the clock,
Okay.
and you might want to check on yours.
Okay.
Oh, what a
Would
good
you
show.
like a skewer?
You see, I thought I was doing a nice thing here is I saved the corner for Makes. She said she loves the corners of brownies, and this bit was more even. So I was like, well, I'm going to cut that out, and Makes can have that bit that hasn't got all the other stuff on it. Why am I being a fool? Well, Makes loves the corners, and I was about presentation, so I wanted them to be even. Why is that wrong? What? Why is that wrong? And plus, they were super dry anyway with all the cinnamon in. When I asked the chef, he's like, yeah, you put too much cinnamon in, they dried them out. I was like, okay, that's fine. Otherwise, they would have been okay, but I'm honest when I fail at cooking.
Right.
Unlike you lot, who tried to twist it.
We're Gucci.
They were terrible, though. I am very, very happily to admit they were awful. They were absolutely awful. They looked nice, though.
Does it taste
They
good?
look nice.
Pretty good, yeah.
That's good.
Mike's glaze is amazing.
Okay, preach. We're getting close to stopping.
They look nice.
You good?
It did look nice.
Does it taste good?
I love
good,
cinnamon. I
That
absolutely
glaze is
adore
amazing.
cinnamon.
Okay, preach.
I adore cinnamon. I do not like chocolate, so yeah, I went that way with them. But I will accept Dan's. Dan's were really nice. Really,
We have
really nice.
Sammy joining us back here for our last course, of course, to try
I'm a
and
cinnamon
get
roll
some forth
fiend. What do you want me to tell you guys? I'm a cinnamon roll
Tell
monster.
me about your.
I was
brownies.
shocked though, because obviously I tasted the corners and they were
Too
fine.
much,
Yeah.
'cause I put cinnamon in the brownie as well to offset the amount of chocolate that's in it.
Fail.
Other than
Big
that, it's
fail.
Straight recipe.
Cinnamon on top, cinnamon inside.
Double
Yeah,
the
it's just too much
double the
cinnamon.
fun.
Okay, I like that. I think that's pretty good.
I got these
For-
brownies.
Yeah, kind of cinnamon challenge brownies.
presentation.
Yeah.
Um,
Kind of
what
cinnamon
was
challenge
the
brownies.
idea behind
They were bad.
distribute this glaze
To
and cutting off the edges?
Yeah, ideally-
which I take personal offense to.
I prepared that for you.
Thank you, but what
Well,
about
you
Sammy?
don't get any now.
What
That's
about
it. It goes
Sammy?
away. None for you.
What about Sammy? He does
Sammy
not
can
get
have
the
all
edges.
the sides he wants. He knows what's up, don't you, Sammy? That's judge.
Sorry.
I have to say I'm biased. I'm sorry.
But yeah, the presentation was to conceal as much of the chocolate flavour as possible by
Sammy knows what's up.
Yeah, I see you went really wide on the cinnamon. I do like how it kind of spread out after, though. Was that intentional?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, very convincing.
Your heart said yes, Sammy. I think you. I feel so
presentation-
bad, Sammy, because I think you were definitely prepared for a really nice cinnamon brownie. That's not what happened. I'm so sorry. Your face looks so disappointed.
I would give it a 4.
You look-
I think it's.
You look so disappointed, and I was disappointed as well because when I tried it, I was like, "Yeah, that's terrible. That is so bad."
That if you both want to,
I don't know what this was with
there
the
is
doubling
the
points
final
thing.
Points?
No.
No.
Doubling them is
up.
Which one would you like me to go for?
I have to relive this
I have
disappointment.
to.
I need to
Yeah,
live
but
it
They're not
down.
even.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, he cut the crust.
It was so dry, Iliatis.
just
You've
for a
no idea. It was actually like a shoe.
cinnamony.
But if it wasn't for the glaze, I think it could have
like
been
cinnamon,
like
I'm afraid.
murderous. That's what I knew.
A little bit dry.
Oh, they're dry.
Oh. Don't worry, Mike. It's
That's what
okay.
it's like to be you.
It's real. It's being beat down
get some water?
constantly.
Yeah, you can. Here.
Thank you.
Do you want me to?
You're getting water. That's how bad. Is it that bad?
Might be too much cinnamon
Oh.
Yeah, I think maybe the topping is too much.
going in.
You also had a corner with very little glazing, so maybe that was also the.
I will accept shambles.
It's very dry. Is it because you tried it without the topping?
It's the brownie itself. It tastes like Thrall shoe.
Dan, this is your chance.
It's
We
not
agreed
really,
on
though,
double
is
the
it?
points.
It was bad.
So
Yeah, it was bad.
Look, compared to some of the other
What's
food
in my
that's been served
eyebrow?
tonight, it's phenomenal. So I'll give it a. I'm going to give it a 2. I'm going to give it a 2 because it tastes nice. It's just
It deserves to die.
it's a little bit cementy, but it's
Oh.
okay.
that's not a
like
word I
not
would want to
cementy.
hear about brownies.
But nice cementy.
In the world of tasty cement, it's pretty good.
Like a Victorian driveway.
Chocolate on my lip from now to the end of the show. Oh well, what are you gonna do?
All right.
What are you gonna do?
But
What are you
did-
gonna do?
Did you?
Well,
change
what a great
anything?
day. What a great day. And then, of course, we brought up the big prize, my friends. The big prize. Sammy lives. Nobody died. I missed it. I wanted to go through the chicken because I don't know what Dan did with the chicken, but we're already like 10 minutes late for drama time. I was super curious how we ended up with such raw chicken on Dan's side. I'm probably going to watch this later and figure out what the hell happened. I don't know what... Did it just go in late? Is that all? We were supposed to grill it, yeah. Yeah, we were supposed to grill it, but there just wasn't time with the preparation and stuff. They were huge. Oh no. Oh yeah, yeah, no, that's mine. Yeah, I don't know. Hey, as soon as it finished, production came over and started eating my chicken. What was left of it? Because, like I say, OT had some nibbles around the back. I'd had a bit of it. I was eating it as we were going. There's OT, legend, absolute legend. What a superstar. Absolute friend. Just chilling out at the back. As soon as I came back, had everything sorted for me. Absolute god. Super god. Waited there the whole show. 2.5 hours OT hung back there, just getting ready for anything that I needed, just sorting me out. Swapping my water, because we used my hand wash water to pour the rice water into. But I it's like, I'm going to change the water for you, dude. I'm all over it. It came back and it was so clear I couldn't even see what was in the box. It was good. Well, you were supposed to do the whole chicken breast. That's what the recipe called for, so that's where Dan probably got confused. I got lucky, I think, by chopping some of mine up to try and make them into body parts. But I'm going to watch that later. I see the problem with the chicken. Yeah, a little bit of an issue. What a great day, though. What a fantastic concept. And what a great team to work with. Everything, despite it could have gone chaotic with, like, not having Dan there and everything else being prepared. We were going to, like, there was some other ideas of, like, having TTS for me and stuff. And I'm like, I'm glad we didn't do that, actually. The distraction would have been too much. I would never have finished anything. It was a bummer. Yeah, it's well worth a watch. It's like, it's a couple of hours. It's really fun. It was super, super great. Right, drama time is coming. Let me have a pee, and then we'll do it, my friends. TTS would have been... Well, I think the original idea is, like, we could stream to our own channels, and then there'd be another stream. It's my VOD from yesterday. You can watch it there. And apparently, I got screenshots of the chat. If you guys... I was sent screenshots as they were tracking the chat. And you guys behaved yourselves. I'm pretty impressed, actually. I'm pretty impressed. Yeah, this is production. Jakey, absolutely awesome. Just got on with it. Let us do whatever we wanted to do. Sammy, at the second, Sammy. We were watching chat. Yeah. Big production crew, getting work done. Super good. Super good. Everybody helping out. Rehearsals, getting stuff done. We always behave. I mean, yeah, I was that picture is true. I was watching the FF14 race on the tablet before we started. I was trying to keep up with the FF14 race as what was going on. I was trying to keep up on the race, like, while we were waiting for stuff to happen. I was doing my best. We'll talk about that Monday, I guess, because obviously there's some controversy and drama there that's happening. But that is the nature of the beast. That is the nature of the beast. But yeah, if you want the VOD, it's on my channel, it's on the official Warcraft channel, it's on Dan's channel as well. We rebroadcast it to all three. Right, we have a quick pee and then we'll do drama time, guys.
Are we just leaving chicken to fry there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, it's going to explode.
Well, I've seen pretty badly burned food today already.
Yeah. You want to taste the sauce? Oh, you don't like peanuts, right?
Well, they don't like me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's a shame. It's a delicious sauce.
Yeah, it does look good. I'll give you that. That's pretty good.
Tasty good. Now.
So why?
Ooh, we can do a small rice. It's a lot of water.
Why is some of your chicken cut up and the other part not?
Creative.
I'm asking you.
Yeah, but wait for the finish. It's not a flavor difference. It's a presentation difference.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
We're serving chicken on a bed of chicken.
Yeah, could do with it.
You weigh it with your heart.
Yeah, that's true. So your ancestors tell you it's enough? Or know me, really?
Yeah. Probably not enough, actually.
It probably is enough.
Okay. All right, let's stick it. Oh, dear. Oh, God, the chicken. Sammy's going to be so happy with this.
Put that, like, all the way in the pot.
Yeah, but it's going to burn the stick, and then we're going to have a small...
You can put the stick in after.
Oh, that's such a better idea. Oh, yeah. Let me pop this in the bin.
Yeah. And maybe get it, like, properly there.
Yeah, don't worry. Give it...
There's just really not that much time left. We're sub 10 minutes.
Speed chicken.
Okay, we're getting some water salted. Is that actually salt or is it sugar?
Yes.
You tried it?
I'm going to send the rice. It's a little last minute, admittedly, but the water's very hot, so we might be okay. I haven't got a presentation plate.
You don't have a presentation plate?
Or a plate.
Yeah, we'll get one for you.
Yeah.
I think maybe you can put it on this.
Oh, yeah. No.
Maybe?
No.
Let's see that chicken. That actually looks really good.
Yeah.
Oh, that one doesn't look that good. But
It's fine. It's just sticking on the griddle.
yeah. Oh yeah, there we go.
See?
Some nice grill lines. A bit sticky, but close enough.
Looks like chicken. A little bit. Nah, that one's not good. Look at that one. Look at this one over here.
Okay, I'm looking. Oh,
Good,
that
right?
looks
Yeah, see,
proper.
that's
Yeah.
good. That's good. Yeah, I got to cook at different times, so I'm going to have to take some out early. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah?
We're getting there.
Yeah,
This looks much more promising than anything else I've seen today.
that's right.
Already?
Which isn't a high bar to say, but
See, we were doing so well.
I'm actually quite impressed with you right now, Preach.
We were doing so well.
No, I'm giving you
Still brought
honest
it down.
compliments.
Thanks, Mum.
Dan,
Mm-hmm.
how are we doing?
It's amazing.
How many chickens did you put in there?
At least 4. It says it in the recipe.
Given your time limits, maybe 3 would have sufficed?
You don't rush perfection.
I mean, we kind of do. Did you
How long we
ever
got?
stir your rice?
No, why isn't he stirring?
Alrighty!
Man.
How many chickens? Yes, all the
I've
chicken.
seen
I only
the
used
pot
2.
It's in, and that pot was burned at
Let's
the
go
bottom.
here.
Yeah, but that wasn't me. That was the other guy.
And let's go on an
You want to
adventure.
burn it some more?
All right. The ultimate cooking battle. Oh God. I spotted one of the titles already. Is that not plugged in? It is. Super. Drama time, ladies and gentlemen. Let's have some funsies. Let's have some funsies. If you're not familiar with drama time, all around the world, people send us tales of misery and woe and fun and happiness and all sorts of wonderful things that happen in the online world. And on a Friday afternoon, we like to share them. It was important for me to get back for it. And here we go. Let me get my keyboard and my mouse. And more importantly than that, sometimes you are called upon to be the judge and the jury, my friends. The judge and the jury. In 3. In 2. In 1. Holla ballers and a brofist to you all. It's a fine Friday afternoon here in Manchester as I've just returned from the Warcraft Amazon Twitch Ultimate Cook-Off Battle, where victory was had in a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful display of entertainment, I would say. A wonderful display of entertainment. It was a tremendous day. Me versus the wonderful Mr. GM. Lovely Makes hosting, and of course our friend Sammy, the taster judge extraordinaire, who had to suffer through uncooked meat, dry brownies, all kinds of shenanigans that happened during that event. Well worth checking out the VOD. It's fantastic. I'm sure we'll have it up somewhere for you. I brought him a wonderful prize. I have the official World of Warcraft GPU. Yeah, baby. There it is from MSI. Showed it off a couple of weeks ago, had to send that one back, and then won one a couple of weeks later. How good's that? A lovely 4070 Ti Super for me. That is mine. Nom, 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 nom. I'm going to be keeping that. I'm going to be keeping that. But we're going to say goodbye to the weekend. Oh, welcome to the weekend, I should say, but goodbye to the week. A giveaway? No giveaways. This is mine. I'm having it. Thank you very much. With a drama time as we get into all kinds of shenanigans here. Of course, the Race to World First is now over. We'll be talking about that on Monday. I'm going to save it on Monday. I know lots of things happened. I know a team was like disqualified. Plugins were involved. Everyone like collapsed out of exhaustion, and then kills happened. All kinds of things happened as the ultimate race was brought down. So we'll see how that plays out on Monday, and I'll get caught up with you guys with all the shenanigans. We'll save it for our Monday stream as we return to Rogue Trader, as Warhammer Summer has returned. As promised, as it was foretold in the scrolls, it is back, and our journey to rid the universe of heresy will continue on Monday. It will be a fantastic time. But right now, that is not that time. It is drama time. And I have several stories in front of me to entertain you for the next hour or so to see how we go before I collapse in bed, because I am exhausted after this week. I have been on reduced sleep now for about 2 weeks, which is definitely having its toll. And we're going to say, oh no. Okay, this is probably going to be end badly. 13 and in love. Set your cringeometers to max. Set your cringeometers to max. I think we're going to cringe land because there's nothing more wonderful than a 13-year-old trying to woo a partner, is there? There's nothing better. And our star of this episode, a wonderful website supporter of ours, will be the Gravity Breeze. Gravity, who I think has been with us and supported us for many, many years, has been chosen by good Lady Bex to be the representative here for our little tale. It should be good. Already guilty? Maybe. I don't know. We've gone down some weird roads on this show, and if you have stories to share with us, and I'm sure you do, because you've played in the online world, you can share them with us at drama@preachgaming.com. Just email them in, and I will do what I can to have fun with these. Here we go. Let's have fun. Hello, Preacher, and shout-outs to Bex, and a big, of course, brofist to the chat. I come from the land which can proudly state it is home to some of the greatest athletes of all time, despite its tiny population. A land of amazing food. The land of immense poverty, but rich with history. This area of intense conflicts, yet the kindest people, has not been guessed by our chat, who are trying Serbia. Now, I'm going to pre-warn you, I have bad experience with Serbians in World of Warcraft especially, because the first Serbian I ever played with was a main tank who used click to move while tanking, and it's deeply upsetting. And the rest of their Serbian friends all had some sort of quirks, let's put it that way, that made it kind of intolerable. But this was 2004, and maybe things have changed. I haven't played, as far as I know, with many Serbians since, but we'll see. Mike, I want to give you some context. The reason it is so important for me to tell you where I live is because we as a country haven't exactly kept up to date with what you call technology. Okay. And so some things which people found to be commonplace back in the early 2000s didn't really become a thing here in Serbia until 2010. And this, of course, applies to our online gaming world. World of Warcraft didn't reach its peak popularity in Serbia in vanilla, or even the Burning Crusade, because during those time periods in history, it was very rare to live in a house that had anything more than dial-up internet. No, my friends, World of Warcraft reached most Serbian homes right about the time that Arthas decided to prick his ugly head from beneath the frozen wastelands. Now, Mike, I was born in 1995, making me the ripe age of 13 when that dropped. By that time, I had already had my first experience with the Warcraft universe through RTS games, and when I saw the trailer for Wrath of the Lich King, oh God, what joy. It was really the stuff that dreams were made of. Now, naturally, I begged, pleaded, groveled, please, can I have the Wrath of the Lich King? It took weeks. There was pleading, bargaining, begging, promising that I would do every chore the house demanded. It would not interfere with any work or anything. And my mom finally caved in to my wide-eyed youngness. She took me to buy my very own copy of Wrath of the Lich King. Wait, did you... Oh. I think most of us can see where this is going. He's only bought Wrath of the Lich King. Unlucky. I got home. I sat down on my dad's work computer and went to install it, only to realize that I did not own Vanilla or the Burning Crusade. And I also did not have a game card. Now, as you can probably imagine, ladies and gentlemen, after all the begging and pleading to buy a €35 game, my parents weren't particularly happy when I needed another €120 to play the... You needed €155 to play Wrath of the Lich King? Dude. What the how does that even work? Didn't they make the battle chest around then? Is this like Serbian get wrecked situation? I thought you got like I thought they launched Wrath with the battle chest. It might have been pre-battle chest. I can't remember exactly how it worked back then. I know that I personally went and bought 12 copies of Wrath of the Lich King for people. And they all did pay up eventually. But I went and bought everybody's copy of Wrath of the Lich King. I bought like a quarter of the guild's Wrath of the Lich King copies. Along with some other friends. When I told them that I needed 120 euros, my mum, and I still remember this clear as day, legitimately just laughed in my face. I was devastated. I tried everything. I tried explaining why I needed the extras, the reasoning. I even played the trailer for my dad, hoping that it would entice him to maybe play. And then I could play on his account or something like that. Nothing worked. In my desperation, I went to my older brother. He was 22 at the time. He told me to get fucked. He wasn't into gaming. He was busy because he had risen to that age that some of you have hit where you're in a band and you're cool. And he was growing his hair long. And he couldn't give a spare living fuck for my 13-year-old gamer problems, which were lazy and not cool and not going to get me laid. I do want to give a shout out to my brother, though. At least being in the band did get him laid. And I wish I realised then and learned guitar instead of getting good DPS logs. But oh well, here we are. Hey. Hey. Yeah, you might be getting laid, bro. But have you seen my pass, though, mate? Look at my pass. I was heartbroken. I sat holding my Wrath of the Lich King box. And I cried on my bed. I had done everything I could possibly do to play Wrath of the Lich King, and I owned it. It was in my hands, and I couldn't play the game. Not only that, I had claimed my early birthday present for this moment, and had received nothing useful for it. That's dark at 13. It's a bold move at that age when you ask for the early birthday present. When you make that angle, it's like, can I have this? And we'll call it my birthday. That's a bold move, and we've all made it, and then it doesn't work out. That's dark. Yeah, that's crying in the corner moment. That's pretty grim. I, of course, still gamed. I sought comfort in anything that I had already, but nothing could meet the expectation and the imagination of a 13-year-old thinking about what I could be doing in Wrath of the Lich King. Months went by. Literal months. As the box sat right on my desk, staring at me. Almost as if Arthas himself was taunting me for my failure. I'll be honest with you all. I completely gave up. I lost hope. 120 euros was insurmountable for a 13-year-old. But one faithful day, I spoke to a friend at school. He was bragging about how amazing Dalaran is, how he was doing heroic dungeons on his new cool DK. How did you convince your parents to get it for you? And then the words so many of us heard at that age that bypassed all these problems were spoken to me. As if the trolley itself gleamed from the stars. Private server. He informed me I could play it for free. The sheer idea of this happening, of this being possible, and again, I do not lie to you all, I cried. It meant that I didn't have to wait for the next birthday, Christmas. I could potentially be playing Wrath of the Lich King tonight. The same day. The emotion of all the months of having the box sat on my desk, the used birthday present, everything I had gone through with my parents to try and play, all undone in an instant. It was very emotional, and I was ready to conquer Northrend. So off I went to the private servers. I made myself my dream class, the thing that I had been thinking about for all this time. A feral druid. Okay. Sure. I mean, Wrath of the Lich King Feral Druid's pretty good. Let's be clear. Wrath of the Lich King Feral Druid is very good. They were broken at the time. I mean, I doubt that's why he's choosing it, but it's fine. It's fine. A Wrath Feral Druid is very good. God damn. It wasn't because of their performance in raids. I had no idea about any of those things. But what it was, swapping from a bear to a panther, ripping and tearing and shredding, smashing. That sounded like the most incredible gameplay one could imagine. Now, I have to inform you all, the private server that I played on was what we would describe as a Lalafell. It was very, very small and very, very weird. The server was stable and had most of the systems of the game working. Of course, it didn't have like LFG, so in order for you to reliably find groups to do contact with, it was heavily suggested that you should spend your time on their server official TeamSpeak server and look for people there. Unlike most 13-year-old boys, I wasn't shy, I wasn't squeaky, I was in retrospect a fucking moron. Okay, I wasn't expecting that. I thought, hello, my name is Gregor and I'm 13. But no, apparently he's a fucking moron. But more importantly, ladies and gentlemen, I was 13 and didn't know that I was a fucking moron. I had the unearned confidence of a 13-year-old. And as such, I confidently went straight to the forums and went straight to TeamSpeak and just started smashing dungeons, getting gear. I want to be clear, I wasn't horrible at the game either. People I played with didn't yell at me too often. Whenever they did yell at me, I was smart enough to understand why they were yelling at me and that I had indeed fucked up and to fix that. And at some point, I met the only other relevant person to our tale here today, Gravity Breeze. One fateful day, I'm just doing some dungeons. Another person in the group also played Feral. Gravity Breeze, unlike me, wasn't 13 or new to the game. Or, as it turned out, male. Gravity Breeze was a private server gamer girl. Gravity Breeze was glorious. Gravity Breeze was decked to the tits in Knack's raid loot. She had come along to help gear one of her IRL friends. We are in TeamSpeak. I heard other people commenting on Gravity Breeze's dope DPS. I was confuzzled. How do you see Gravity Breeze's screen? Today was the day, my friends, I learned about add-ons and that they existed. They went into detail explaining that you can change parts of your game to see other information. They told me of this wonderful piece of software called Recount. I wasn't excited by this knowledge. Far from it, actually. My brain actually went in a totally different direction. I was panicking and also hugely embarrassed because in asking about this thing as they snickered and explained it to me, I, for the first time since joining this server, had outed myself as a complete fucking noob. And now everybody knew it. I don't think I've ever met anyone else who didn't know about add-ons in World of Warcraft. Yet here I was with a big public server where everybody who was listening that day found out that I was a shitter. We did the dungeon and did a few others. All the while I was summoning the courage to ask how I could hold the incredible power of add-ons. The only thing they hadn't explained to me was, how do you get these things? I wondered, how could I do this without embarrassing myself further? And so, over the course of this dungeon, I built up the courage to sneakily do it in whispers. And so, ladies and gentlemen, I went to the pink. Excuse me. How do I recount? To my relief and surprise, Gravity Breeze instantly replied, Hey man, we've all been there. After this dungeon, you and me can go into a different channel. I'll explain it to you. Only takes like 5 minutes. Preach. Listeners, from that moment on, Gravity Breeze became my deity. A goddess. Gravity Breeze became my mentor. She was my savior. She was my idol. She was everything. Everything I wanted to become in-game. I know it sounds odd now, but remember I was 13. That whisper was the first time I fell in love. Oh, bless you. He fell in love. Oh, that's cute. Come on, he's 13. Oh, and this gamer girl with sick deeps and cool gears being nice. Oh, come on. Not only did Gravity Breeze teach me about add-ons and help me set up my very first own custom UI, she also offered to teach me how to play. And I absorbed every single word that Gravity Breeze ever told me like it was one of the 10 fucking commandments itself. I swear, looking back, if she had told me to stick a carrot up my ass, I would have done it, no questions asked. She even invited me to join her guild, and then I found out that it had gotten even better. She was not only a phenomenal player, I was I was speaking to someone who was an officer in a guild. She had authority over other players in the guild. God, it was awesome. She was awesome. Let's go forward a little bit now. A month or two went by. And by that time, I had gotten pretty good. I cleared Nax many times. I'd gotten a gear score, rip, to a decent number. And when I saw the server forums had announced that Ulduar was joining the private server, I asked Gravity Breeze, do you think I'm ready? And may I join a progress raid? Of course. It was that easy. It was that goddamn easy. I was so excited that I literally, and I know it sounds silly, I cried again. I was going to be part of a team. I had deemed myself worthy. I had risen. I had tried. I had learned. I had farmed. I had done everything. And now I was welcome as part of a progress raid team. I was going to be side by side on the front lines with Gravity Breeze, overcoming new challenges together. And not only that, it meant we would be spending even more time together. Now, I need to give you a little bit of context, ladies and gentlemen. I don't think you can fully appreciate how in love I am with Gravity Breeze. I was enamored. I was with Gravity Breeze at the time. Now, Gravity Breeze was older than me. She was 18, Swedish. And we all know that the myths, certainly as 13, about Swedish supermodels. In my mind, she was an absolute beauty. 18 years old. Great DPS. Oh, that's the most important part. And in my mind, on my imagination, and yes, I know it's embarrassing now, but fuck y'all, you've all been 13. Gravity Breeze was the goddess of the DPS meter and the goddess of sex. The two most important things in my brain. To be clear, I had never seen a picture of her. But I had drawn one in my brain. Of course you have. With a voice like that, I could just put all the pieces together, right? I could put it all together. No problem whatsoever. In my mind, ladies and gentlemen, she was an angel. sent down from heaven, golden hair, the perfect smile, and oh my God, guys, if I could tell you, the kindest eyes you've ever seen. I swear at school I would just daydream about Gravity Breeze more often than any other thing or person that existed in my life up until that point. I want to say, to my credit, and of course we're talking about the author here, I'm not a weirdo. I'm not a freak. I was super happy to play with Gravity Breeze and would really enjoy hanging around in TeamSpeak, doing dailies together or whatever. But I did not, and I swear to you, go full cringe. I didn't do that. Instead, I went with being cool. You know? Just laid back. I was one of those nice guys, unbothered by the fact that she was a gamer girl. I don't care what's between your legs. It's your gameplay that I like. Unlike those other guys. You know? Whenever we pugged someone in TeamSpeak, which was pretty often, as soon as Gravity Breeze spoke, guys would either get really weird, start hitting on her, or would become freaky, or insult her for being a girl and therefore bad. Not me, though. No. I acted as though we were just a couple of friends, gaming together. But the reality, of course, is that my heart and my soul were hers at the drop of a hat. And she never knew it. Oh, you didn't try it on with the 18-year-old, really? Mike, our relationship took us far, my friends. We cleared hard mode Ulduar. Took months, but we did it. And by that time, basically, whenever I played the game, it was with Gravity Breeze. Now, we had to take things to the next step. And I got a message saying, do you have the good book? This had been a long time we'd been together. We had learned so much about each other during that time. Honestly, it didn't seem weird to add each other on Facebook. Audience, Mike. She was everything I had imagined in my mind. She was fucking beautiful. And she really was 18. She was stunning, breathtaking. I began really dreaming okay, of the day when our age difference would no longer matter. And I could tell her in a non-weird way how I felt. And that she would tell me she felt the same, because of course she would, because of our relationship and our connection and all this time we'd spent together. How could she not? I was so deeply in love with her at this point. I did something that no one should ever do, especially a 13-year-old boy. I told all my feelings to my older brother. You flew too close to the sun. Oof. You flew too close to the sun. Is that right? Immediately, he brought me down and started ripping the piss out of me. He called me a twat. He said, wait, you're telling me you're in love with pixels? He told me the best advice he could give me on how to proceed was, in his words, to stop being such a pussy little bitch and talk to a real girl instead of spending my time in a headset with my hand on my dick dreaming about a girl that didn't even live in our country, you fucking moron. For the fourth time in our story, I cried again. But my tears made him laugh. When he saw how upset I was with his reaction, he doubled down on my ass and said his band was now going to write a song called Pixel Pussy Makes Me Flaccid. It's a loose Serbian translation, but it's pretty close to what it was supposed to be. When I cried, and he did realize he had really hurt my feelings and that I was genuinely really serious about my future wife, he decided to man the fuck up and be a natural brother. And he took me out for a beer. We had one or two and talked for hours, during which I explained to him that my feelings were genuine and I really, really liked her. And that really would really love to one day meet her and be with her. He then told me, if time went on I felt the same, when I was old enough, that he promised he would take me to Sweden. And he would sort it out so I could meet her. IRL. Kind of a bro move. Kind of a bro move. Kind of a bro move. Brother also knows there's no way that's going to happen, so he's all good. It did calm me down, though. I now had a future with her. There was now a place and a time where my dreams could become a reality, ladies and gentlemen. There's actually a chance. And I decided that I will double down on this, and I will be patient until one day me and my angel are united as one. I told myself, I'm going to play the long game. I'm going to stay friends with her. And eventually that day will come when we're in the same room together. And we'll have been so close because of our long-term friendship by that point in time that we're probably just going to get married immediately and have kids one day. Now, it turned out that life doesn't work that way. And that life does have other plans. Our server, importantly, never managed to get Icecrown Citadel working. And people eventually got bored of the never-ending Ulduar grind. When Kata was announced, many people on the private server decided, fuck it, we're going retail, including some of the members of our raid team. To my horror, Gravity Breeze wasn't a paw. She was going to join retail World of Warcraft. She was leaving me. She was leaving me for a place I could not follow. I consider the day that she told me that she was going away as the time where my heart broke for the first time in my entire life. It hurt so bad that this time I didn't even manage to remain cool, calm, and collected. I was openly upset. I expressed in a very emotional way how much I was going to miss her. After hearing me pour my heart out about her leaving, she responded with, just come to retail then. I explained to her that I am Serbian, therefore poor, and that I am a young boy, and my parents would never, ever, ever give me the money for it. I hoped deep down that maybe she could have got it for me. Did she like me that much? I waited with bated breath for the response to come through. The reply was not what I hoped for. She replied, we could still chat on Facebook though. And we did. For a time. Eventually, as she got into the later years of university, she didn't even have time for WoW anymore. I moved from private server to private server, but it wasn't the same. Eventually, I started making enough money with summer jobs to buy it for myself. And I've been playing since the early days of MOP on the retail world. Once in a rare blue moon, Gravity Breeze would shoot me a message on the good book. But never more than a casual catch-up. Mike, even though I dated girls in real life during this time, it took me years to get over her. Literally years. The imaginary relationship that I saw myself, the future I had planned out, the kids I had seen running around and playing, it was so ingrained into my brain that it just lingered and stuck around. And after a few years, the day came. Would you believe it? Gamescom, Cologne, Germany. We met. I saw on Facebook she was going. I sent her a DM saying I'm going too. We had a blast. We talked about the good old days and after having some drinks. It happened. I told her when I was a kid, I was fucking in love with you. I was in love with you more than you could possibly imagine. I was 13 and I was over the fucking moon. And she replied, of course I knew. You weren't exactly subtle. You were a kid. And she thought it was sweet, and she appreciated that I didn't get freaky about it or cringe. And nothing ever happened between us. And if I'm being honest, I'm kind of glad that we didn't work out that way. And the memory I have of the angel that found me in that dungeon, that goddess, that deity that tutored me and mentored me at 13 years old, and didn't leave me in any weird way or a bad breakup. It's a really cool memory. And that's enough for me now. I'm 29. I'm in a long-ass term relationship now, which will likely become more sooner rather than later. Good luck. And I'm happily raiding on retail with my awesome guild, which I've been a part of for literal years now. We haven't gotten every cutting edge since I've joined, but we got a few. And I'm really happy with the friends I've made, even though nothing will ever be as exciting and breathtaking as those moments that I went through years ago. Gravity Breeze is now a mother to two beautiful twin girls, nightmare, who I'm sure will one day hold the heart of some 13-year-old boy in the palm of their hands too. I hope you enjoyed my little story of my infatuation through the art of DPS meters, and that it reminded you of some of your own first love. It's a precious thing to remember as you grow up. Round of applause for our wonderful Serbian friend. I can relate. I've told this story before, but my first girlfriend was never my girlfriend. I told my mum and dad I had a girlfriend. The girl existed. She had no interest with me. And when it clearly became people asking to meet my girlfriend, I faked a breakup with my girlfriend. And cried about it. Even though it never happened. And it turned out, as we went to the same college, she was a turbo lesbian. And had a great time. I got to be really good friends with her and her girlfriend. But, you know, we don't all pick the right person. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Hey, I was infatuated. She was gorgeous. She was pretty. And she was the only girl on the the school football teams of our local district. She was great. She was athletic. She did all these things. Made sense to me. The signs were there, though. The signs were there. Not when you're 11, though. Not when you're 11 years old. That is a different scenario. That is a very different one. Okay. Oh, God. I'm kind of interested in this one. Let's move on. Let's do another story. I know it's 5-2, but we started late because of our cooking shenanigans. I kind of like the sound of this one. Blind raiding is my right. Do any of you belong or have belonged to a guild, not a girl, that is disallowed from blind raiding? Like, it's not allowed at all. If you don't do the research, you don't come to the raid. Like, they've made it a rule. You must do the homework. And our star of this story will, of course, be our other website supporter, Mr. Enigma. Hello, Enigma. Long time no see, my friend. Was normal. Yeah, it was normal for me for a long time. I know so many guilds that have actually forced their players to sit and watch a video before they pull the boss. Like, during raid time, they sit and watch the Fat Boss Guide and shit like that. Like, absolutely crackers. Absolutely crazy. All right, here we go. Hello, Bex Preacher. Hello, the chat. I've written you a couple of stories. One about, am I a bad GM? You judged me guilty for trying to be too nice. That sounds right. The issue at hand, to remind you of my personality, we had 2 tanks. One of them simped for a 3rd tank. This was at the end of BFA. Your venerable judgment fell on me for trying to run a democracy. Raid guilds are not a democracy. We followed your advice. The simping tank was removed. We got a new group going. We curved Nathria. I had to stop because I had a little baby girl. Congratulations. No one else wanted to run things in my absence. Classic. I found an active guild which could absorb our members. It went well until it didn't. Lol. Mergers. Everyone went their own ways for the rest of the expansion. I stayed in touch with many of them. All found themselves places to be where they felt good. And one of them wanted to pursue Cutting Edge just to try it out and achieved it in the Sanctum of Domination. I wrote you another story about how I met my wife. I took you for a roller coaster of a story that spanned 8 years. Turbo Tits was the star of that story. Very fun. All right. So I want to move. Now you've caught up on my personality. Let's move on to the story I wish to regale you with today. My friend Enigma. My friend Enigma, who got Cutting Edge, decided to come and visit us on holiday, where he helped me build a retaining wall in my garden, because the housing association I'm with are refusing to do it. On this holiday, we had fun, we drank, we got drunk, we talked about the good old days and decided we missed gaming together. Enigma told me if I run the guild and I become the GM, he would be the raid leader if we decided to get the band back together. He goes home, and I get myself to work. I am going to revive the guild. All right, what are we calling this guild? Give me a name for the guild, chat. Go for it. What are they called? They're coming back from the dust. They're rising once again. They're bringing back the Red Dot Lost Cause. I actually like that. I've very rarely seen the idea of getting the band back together work out well. It can do, but it is a rarity. It is a rarity to try and bring back all the old soldiers into some sort of Expendables type feature. I wrote the guild statement. Because what guild can exist in a video game without a statement, a mission guide for us to follow? The mission statement: get ahead of the curve, do mythic if it's feasible. I then laid out the requirements to join our motley crew. Don't be a dick. Rule number 1. No cliques/friends groups. Except one, because they've been with us from the start. They're all lovely people. But they get bored when they finish progress, where they drop off to do M+, and that's okay. I, as GM, will not be part of the raid team. My job is too restrictive to be able to commit properly to the guild's main mission statement. My wife will be joining whenever she is able and will make efforts to be at every raid. Yes, it's a husband-wife guild, but to be clear, no, we are not going to be co-leading the guild as a husband and wife. I will run the behind-the-scenes management of the guild. I will deal with recruiting, managing the in-game functions, managing the Discord server, providing the tools for the raid leader as he needs them or asks for them. My wife's mission is to bring vibes to the guild. It's a vague role. I bring the vibes. I am Chief Vibe Officer. That is my... I'm getting a lot of red flags here. Yeah, this is starting to look a bit crimson. My wife will bring vibes to the guild. She very much loves doing spreadsheets and will concoct arcane creations that put WoW audit and guilds of WoW's auto spreadsheets to shame. She will use these magic spreadsheets to keep track of everything. Not because we need it, or because she has to, but because she fucking loves spreadsheets. And it helps us. What does it help with? What possible reason is there for a spreadsheet outside of like world first raiding and tracking 600 alts? What do you need a spreadsheet for? What do you need a spreadsheet for? It's fun. You get to see where the gold's going. I fucking love a spreadsheet. Oh, look at that. Oh, look at all the information. Oh, vibes. Spreadsheet vibes. Oh, yeah, I love a good spreadsheet. Oh, yeah. So good. We've got so many codes. What was it that Alex was telling me about? ZLOOKUP? I don't do the spreadsheets anymore. Good job, Nups. Enigma, the de facto raid leader. His role, his mission, anything involving the raid falls on his shoulders. What he says goes. I offer support, as stated previous, somewhat at least. Successful raid leader, as I was, and in the first week of raids of the War Within, he has shown himself confident, competent, and knowledgeable. We started out with 3 people reviving the guild. We started as a 3-man team, but within 2 weeks, we had a full team, ladies and gentlemen. Many of the old guard dusted off their swords and their staffs and returned because they missed the guild, and more importantly, they missed the vibe. And with my wife at the vibe helm, the vibes will return. At this point, we're missing only one guy from our original squad who wishes to stay with his mythic guild because it's way better than ours. Do you want to leave your mythic guild and come and play with these old ass people trying to get a heroic raid together? Nah, I'm alright. We of course respect this decision. He's allowed on our Discord. We play together, we do dungeons together, we have fun. It's all good. Now, with that all set, the mission statement is clear. We all know who's doing what. You might be wondering, dear preacher and chat, where's the drama? How can this possibly go wrong? I don't think we're wondering that. Well, here it is. Raid night number 1. Raid night number 1. Okay. Starts on day 1. We enter the raid in normal mode. We smash bosses, but there's one guy. Oh, I've got another name here. Hold on. Joining Enigma is Aledhel. There we go. But one guy, Eladel, a monk who plays only Windwalker or Brewmaster. We're short one healer. We turn to the only member of our team who could maybe fill that role. The monk. Eladel, can you go Mistweaver so we can raid? Given he's known us for a long time, he reluctantly agrees. We do, of course, emphasize and want to be clear this is not a forced thing. If you don't want to do it, we will pug someone else. He says it's fine. It's fine. I'll do it. Now, it's our first raid night, playing a spec he's not familiar with. He makes mistakes that should not be made. It then becomes apparent, because he tells us after we ask, that he refuses to watch guides or read up on fights. He's been watching a YouTuber who says that blind raiding is incredibly fun, and he agrees that reading guides before doing the fights ruins his immersion. Could have been anyone. Could have been anyone. Now, and upon hearing this, the whole raid team laughs, thinking he's joking. On the Silken Court, though, it becomes very apparent he's not joking at all. As this is a fight that requires some level of coordination, at least some basic I need to interject here. Okay, blind raiding is really, really fun, and I do recommend it. However, okay, there is a caveat, right? It's not just black on white. It's not like you don't do it or you do it, depending on where you are. There is a caveat. You can blind raid very well without being a hindrance on your team, which is what it's all about. You don't want to be just wasting the rest of the team's time, right? Unless you all agree to blind raid, in which case you know what to do, right? We do that in FF all the time. We're all going to blind raid. It's fine. The caveat is, if the rest of your team is reading guides and you want to blind raid, you have to be good enough to be able to figure out the fight very, very quickly. That requires a foundational knowledge of recognizing what the fuck is going on. All right? That's what you need. If you're going to take it upon yourself to blind raid, even though everybody else isn't, and not be a pain in the ass, you need to be able to understand what the fuck is going on when you see it and go, oh, okay, totally get it. All right? That's the thing. So just there's some caveats to this. Just letting you know. It turns out he's not joking. And this is a fight that requires actual coordination and a basic understanding of what goes on. We then decide that this is not acceptable and put up an 8-minute raid break timer so everyone has to go and watch a video on the fight. It gets worse. He doesn't say that he's not going to watch it. Instead, he leaves the raid. But not the party. He ports out. Goes and does his world boss. And then returns. Go and watch the guide. Why don't you go fuck yourself? Why don't you go fuck yourself? Ports out, kills the world boss, comes back while everyone else is watching the guide. All right. It gets even worse, though. Because he didn't watch the guide. And we can tell he's done that because the second swarming mist comes out. All right, for our FF players out here on the Silken Court, there's a debuff that comes out. It's a damage over time effect. There's 3 of them. And all you have to do is get the people with the debuff to go and stand near one of the bosses and get dispelled there. It jumps to either the closest player or the closest enemy. And you need to get all 3 of them to be dispelled onto the boss, and the boss gets stunned. And you can do extra damage to it. If you don't do that, the boss is casting a big old spell that kills you all. So you have a little limited amount of time for those 3 people to go and stand near the boss, get dispelled, and then move away. That's it. What Eladel decides to do is cast Revival. Now, Revival has 2 components to it, my friends. If you're not familiar with that spell, and you can see the Keck W's coming out as to what it does, it puts out some healing on all the players in the raid as an AoE heal, but it also dispels everybody in the raid simultaneously. And will send those swarming mist buffs all over the place to wonderful new people who have moved away and are not expecting it or anything like that, and probably delay them getting back to the boss and figuring out what to go on, and now it's ticking down, and kill every single person in the raid. Now, that's where we finished our raid night. The next day, Enigma decides this is not okay and to have a little chit-chat with Eladel. Lay down a few of the ground rules that maybe were missing in the initial mission statement. Things that, shouldn't need to have been said. We called it the raid preparation. Now, we decided to inform him that raid preparation, in our guild's case of Lost Cause, does not mean just basic enchants, flasks, potions, and the usual, but also we do expect a basic understanding of what's coming into the fight so we don't use our limited raid time in a wasteful way. It is expressed to him that the raid team is disappointed in his lack of commitment. Now, rather than accept that this is how Lost Cause likes to do things, Eladel deflects it, asking if we had approached every member about this change of raid preparation. Since claiming everyone was disappointed, they must have all had one-to-ones. It was pretty clear he was being manipulative and toxic. Enigma, unfortunately, is not used to dealing with people who are being so blatantly awkward with the rules. So this conversation between Eladel and Enigma goes on longer than it should, but does end up with the point getting across to Eladel. Learn the fight, or you're not getting a raid invite. Eladel makes it easy. He just leaves the guild. I understand, and goodbye. Now that's fair. I think so far this is fair. This is fair. I don't want to raid that way. Alright, if that's how you guys are doing everything, cool. There's nothing wrong with that, right? Could have been less of a douche about reaching there, but this is fine. This is totally fine. I'm not going to play by that rules and restrictions, so I'm going to leave. Okay, it's fine. It could have been handled better, but it is what it is. I also make the decision to block him on our Discord server. Now, see, why? He hasn't really done anything wrong, and you've had one raid. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. You can go too far. Like, is it necessary to then, like, block someone if they haven't actually done something fucking douchey? And they're like, I'm just not going to raid with you guys. It's fine, but whatever. Eladel is nice vibe. Yeah, what does your wife say about this? She's bringing the vibes. This is a vibe situation. Eladel is a nice guy. He had friends in the guild, quite a few of them actually. We were worried that some of these friends were going to leave because he had left. And so, with the pressure of the GM on my shoulders, I sat there for a whole day, waiting with bated breath to answer the kinds of questions that were probably going to come up. Why? What did he do? Where's he gone? You guys are elitist. But that didn't happen. Everyone felt it was okay. So I thought it was a win for us. Next raid night, we decided to smack up Heroic. We kill 3 bosses without too much trouble and spend the last hour on the Silken Court again, where we progged to the final phase a few times before we ran out of raid time. Thanks to you, Preacher and chat, I have a newfound understanding of how to run a guild that does not become a cesspool guild. We're recruiting. Socials are brought in from trade chat. Yeah, I know, but we don't just grab anyone, we do veto people before that. And they are permitted to apply for a raid spot. And we believe they could be a good fit, they get trialed, and we're trying to run things properly. In short, I want to thank you. Oh, I don't want your thank you. I think you handled it badly. Okay, it's not that I don't want your thank you. Okay, this is a thank you letter to Drama Time. You helped us make our guild better. We shall see how it goes by the end of the expansion or season, LOL. I'll write you again either with a funny story of how Lost Cause has imploded or things are going well. Thank you for reading my story. Okay, so the dealing with the guy was the drama. All right, I felt something else was coming up. I feel rejuvenated to get back into WoW and the curve scene. P.S. In the How I Met My Wife, there was a mention of my dog, which I shoved in the back of a 3-door hatchback to drive from Denmark all the way to the UK. You were sad not to see pics of... Oh, you're trying to show me pics of the puppet. Okay, right. The guy was a douche, right? Porting out, doing a world boss, and blatantly ignoring what was going on. That's douchey thing to do. Agreed. Blocking someone on Discord when they leave the guild, if it's not like he hasn't called you, like, you know, freaked out, left some bizarre messages, become a total dirtbag, that's unnecessary. I think the guy made the right decision in the end. Is like, all right, I'm not going to raid like this. I'm going to go away. That's fine. But I just say in general, be very wary of just like immediately burning every fucking bridge the second there's any slight conflict. It's usually very unnecessary to do that. Like sometimes things don't work out and that's okay, right? That's fine. As long as nobody's like fighting each other and being arseholes to each other and hard feelings, which is usually a lack of communication. Destroying every fucking connection you have to somebody for some reason is totally unnecessary. Nearly every guild I've been in for the last decade has had so many people on the Discord who aren't even in the guild. They played together like 7 years before, 5 years before, whatever, or used to be in the guild and might come back later on, might want to raid, good. It's easier to pug through Discord, right? If you've got like a Discord that's active with good players, and you need some pugs, it's better than trade chat, motherfucker. It's way better than trade chat. If people are decent, are like, I'm not gonna raid. I want to raid blind. You guys don't do that. I'm out. All right, that's fine. But there's no reason they can't stick around and do stuff. You know what bothers me? I bet you've been in guilds like this. Where, and I'm not talking about like community guilds that have hundreds and hundreds of members. I'm talking about like just a normal active raid guild who has to like remove any like character that's been not online for like 10 days because the guild master likes the guild list to be clean, as they describe it. I want it to be clean. I don't want like inactive characters you're not playing right now to be on, or you've got to log into your alt every week, even though there's only like say 60 characters in the guild or some shit. And they're like, they micromanage the minutia of who's there and all that kind of stuff. It's very annoying. Have any of you been in a guild that had an alt guild for some fucking reason? Even though there's only like 30 active players, if you want an alt, it has to be in the alt guild. Only mains are allowed in the main guild. And then there's this like alt guild with some stupid fucking name. Yeah, you've never heard of it? It's quite common. It's not that strange. It was a very big thing. I want to say like Kata to like Legion. Yeah, it was super stupid. You just couldn't talk in guild chat with the guild, even though you were playing the character that you go raiding with. It just made everything infinitely more awkward to deal with. You're still in mine from vanilla. Hasselhoff stole my bike. Oh, really? No alts allowed. They fill up the members list. Yeah. Even though you can have hundreds of characters in the guild. I get it if someone's like been gone for 10 years or whatever. That's fine. But like, fuck it. It's weird. Really weird. Anyway, that brings us to the end of drama time for today. I am going to bed. Because I am running on no sleep. I've been driving for 7 hours. I'm really tired, but we'll be back on Monday. Monday, we'll be going over the Ultimate Race to World first. I'll get all caught up on that. I watched as much as I could, but obviously I was doing a lot of stuff. Beyond that, Rogue Trader is carrying on. We are off to appease the Emperor in the best way we possibly can. It's going to be a fun week next week. It's some really cool things to let you know about. As you know, more and more events that I couldn't go to the Race to World first are being announced, and stuff that I'm doing behind the scenes is taking up all my time. But you'll find out what that stuff is really soon, because these NDAs are lifting really soon. So it should be awesome. All right? See you guys. Be good.